All right, welcome back everybody for social studies. Since I already introduced myself, I just want to get right into the material that your students are going to be learning this year. So based on Washington State Education Guidelines, the Office of Superintendent in Public Instruction, all sixth graders in Washington learn about ancient civilizations. And it's a super fun study of cultures and innovation and kind of what makes us who we are. And it really helps students to kind of really think about why we are here right now, and it's kind of on the shoulders of people who came before us. So we are first talking about human evolution as we get into the Paleolithic era. We're going to start in a couple weeks talking about the Neolithic Revolution and that transition from being hunters and gatherers to being farmers and kind of maintaining and controlling the environment around us, which then led to the blossoming of civilization. Our first civilization that we're going to get into is Mesopotamia. We're going to study Egypt, ancient India, ancient Greece, ancient Rome, ancient China. We'll also study the Abrahamic faiths and kind of how Christianity, Judaism, and Islam began. So it's a really rich year. And I think one of the most rewarding things about it is that there are very few students who know much about ancient history. Some have, kind of, a little bit of knowledge maybe from books they've read about Greece or Egypt, but it's really rewarding because it's a subject area that most kids are really unfamiliar with. So it's fun for me to see them learn and grow over the course of the year. And just to kind of touch on some things you may see in Skyward, these are success skills. And this is an ungraded sort of feedback that I like to give students and parents every couple of weeks, really based on skills that I think sixth graders, particularly in this remote environment, need to be receiving feedback on a regular basis. You'll see this on a 3-2-1 scale in Skyward. A 3 is being that they are consistently demonstrating that they have mastered the skill or that they are consistently doing a good job at it. 2 is sometimes demonstrates, so it's not always consistent. Some days are better than others. And then a 1 really needs extra support. And that's maybe where we can brainstorm together as a team, maybe bring in some extra support from guidance counselors. But here are kind of the 4 categories. Technology, and that's really being able to navigate the various platforms. I know there's a lot being thrown at sixth graders, but part of being successful in this remote environment is making sure that we can master the technology. Self-advocacy, again, because I'm not right here in the classroom, really making sure that when students don't understand, they can sort of advocate for themselves, they can problem solve, they can come up with other solutions, they can come find me during office hours if they have a question. It's really important that they start to get those skills now because it's only going to help them in the future. Organization, this is being able to manage your time, resources, and materials in order to be successful. So making sure that we're turning assignments in on time, making sure that we always have our supplies ready to go and we don't have to go to another room to go grab them. Just being kind of aware of assignments that are due or quizzes that are coming up, making sure that we're prepared to be our best selves. And then engagement. This is something that students are getting feedback on in all classes, not just mine, particularly as we are online learning, making sure that they're attending class, making sure that they're participating in synchronous Zoom sessions, making sure that they're participating in asynchronous learning as well. So trying to gauge to make sure that students are accessing learning and learning with us together as a class. And I think one of the things, especially for me as a parent, it's really nice to hear about curriculum and what my kids will be up to, but I want to know, usually when I go to curriculum night, how can I help my student? I think part of being a parent of a middle schooler, especially a sixth grader, is helping them set up routines. Routines aren't always something that are innate. Sometimes it's going to take a few trials of things that work and things that don't. So I encourage you to have conversations with your student about Organizational routines. Are we using a planner? Are we using a to-do list? Are we checking things off? Do we want to keep track of that in an iPad? What are some organization systems that you can help your child manage their workload? Other things to keep in mind: setting up routines like charging the iPad, checking Schoology frequently. I would even suggest maybe more than just daily, but maybe once in the morning and once after school is over. And then checking Skyward regularly to make sure there are no missing assignments. Because that's kind of important for kids to get that skill as well. And I think really importantly, letting them be their own self-advocates. As I mentioned earlier, self-advocacy is a skill that I'm giving students feedback on, but really encouraging them to solve their own problems instead of relying on other adults to solve them. I know it's really tempting as a mom to, or any parent, to sort of swoop in and fix our kids' problems, but that's ultimately not going to help them in the long run. So thinking about how can I help them help themselves and really gain a sense of confidence and independence during these middle school years, I think is really important. So that's kind of what I would take away from tonight in general, thinking about making sure those independent skills are starting now so that kids feel more ownership over their learning and the learning process for years to come. So thank you so much for coming to curriculum night, albeit a very a unique curriculum night, one like I've never had before. And please feel free to reach out to me. I know that you receive my weekly updates, and if you don't, please let me know. But my email address is Melissa, Melissa, .w. Nope, just kidding. That's my personal email address, melissa.gaffney@mercerislandschools.org. So thanks again for coming, and I hope you have a wonderful evening.